So picture this. You're mid-scroll, completely locked into your feed, and a thought just kind of hits you. Are my choices actually my own, or am I being steered by some hidden matrix of control? I know, it sounds a bit out there, but seriously, think about it. Is that surge of online outrage you felt today completely authentic? Or is it just the result of a very ancient playbook designed to manage the masses?
To get to the bottom of this, we first need to look at manufactured consent. Basically, this is the incredibly subtle art of shaping public opinion to accept specific agendas completely without using physical force. Modern media, and honestly, a lot of democratic nations, pull this off so seamlessly that we actually end up feeling like these elite top-down policies were our own brilliant ideas all along. It's kind of wild.
Well, welcome to today's Explainer. We are going to decode this blueprint of control, and we're going to trace it all the way from the dusty streets of ancient Rome straight into the algorithmic black boxes sitting in our pockets right now. We want to see exactly how these old-school strategies of mass manipulation got a major digital upgrade.
All right, here is our roadmap for today. First, the origins of elite control. Then, bread, circuses, and distraction. Next is order out of chaos, followed by divide, conquer, and terrify. After that, we'll look at algorithms and mass manipulation, and we'll wrap up with democracy versus elite power. Let's dive in. Section 1. The origins of elite control, the ancient playbook.
Section 2. Bread, circuses, and distraction. Panemes et circenses. Okay, so this brings us to panem et circenses, literally bread and circuses. The Roman poet Juvenal actually coined this phrase way back in the day. He was fiercely criticizing the emperors for this very specific manipulative tactic, keeping the public totally compliant by tossing them free grain and staging these massive, violent gladiator games. And the trade-off? Well, the masses willingly handed over their critical thought and political freedom just as long as they were fed and entertained.
And scholars draw this really fascinating, direct line to today. Just look at the sheer massive scale of the Roman Circus Maximus. I mean, it held a huge chunk of the city's population, and compare that to a modern megastadium. Elite architects designed both of these for the exact same psychological reason. They are built to evoke intense excitement, forge a tribal sense of belonging, and frankly, keep the crowd so perpetually preoccupied that they don't even have time to think about social unrest.
So really, the delivery method is the only thing that's evolved. We've basically traded in our chariot races for massive global sports tournaments, reality TV, and the infinite scroll of social media feeds. But that underlying elite strategy, it hasn't changed a bit. It is all about distracting the public from systemic inequalities and political corruption by just blasting them with a fire hose of immersive entertainment. Section 3. Order out of chaos. Ordo ab chaos. Next up, we have Ordo ab chaos, order from chaos. This is this deeply ingrained idea that a brand new system or structure can be rapidly built out of a profoundly messy, confusing time. Historical rulers, and yes, modern governments too, recognize a pretty harsh truth. A massive crisis is literally the fastest way to get the public to accept restrictive new rules, rules they would absolutely reject during peacetime. You'll often hear this broken down as the Hegelian dialectic or the problem-reaction-solution model. It works like this. Step 1, create or heavily highlight a massive crisis. Step 2, stoke public panic and fear, get that reaction. And Step 3, swoop in to save the day with a pre-planned, highly restrictive solution. It's a proven framework to rapidly push through things like sweeping surveillance laws or massive financial bailouts by leveraging that pure, raw chaos. Section 4. Divide, conquer, and terrify. Divided impera and in terrorem. Now let's talk about divided impera, divide and rule. Honestly, massive empires, from the Romans to the British, absolutely relied on this. They intentionally pitted local tribes, religious factions, and ethnic groups against one another. And the logic is just coldly practical, right? A population that is completely consumed by fighting amongst themselves is never, ever going to unite to challenge the ruling class. But when distraction and division aren't quite enough, there is in terrorem, which translates to in order to frighten. This is where ruling bodies dish out highly visible, extremely severe punishments on a select few individuals. It's not actually about just punishing that one person. It's a theatrical display. It's designed to keep the rest of the population completely docile and utterly terrified of stepping out of line. The entire historical mindset driving these tactics is captured just perfectly by the theorist Gustave Le Bon. He said,
The masses have never thirsted after truth. Whoever can supply them with illusions is easily their master. Managing public ignorance and controlling the narrative, that has always been the ultimate key to maintaining power.
Section 5. Algorithms and Mass Manipulation, the Digital Upgrade. So let's look at this digital upgrade. The contrast between physical division back then and digital division now is stark. Instead of a Roman emperor physically separating tribes, today we have algorithmic culture wars. Tech platforms rely heavily on a concept called homophily, this idea that similarity breeds connection. So they automatically categorize us into these tightly isolated, highly agitated digital neighborhoods based on our specific political biases.
This right here is the engine of surveillance capitalism, powering what we call the rage economy. You see, these algorithms, they aren't trying to find nuance or objective truth, not at all. They actively optimize for outrage and moral indignation, simply because conflict is wildly profitable. By feeding us these perfectly tailored, custom streams of information, they create filter bubbles that completely shatter any sense of a shared reality. Divide and rule isn't just a strategy anymore. It's an automated, profit-generating machine.
Section 6. Democracy versus elite power, the ideological clash.
Now, the elite blueprint clearly relies on deception, massive distraction, and divide and rule to keep power concentrated at the top. But social democratic and liberal values demand the exact opposite, right? They require transparency, public solidarity, and distributed power. Tactics like divide and rule actively destroy the public unity you absolutely need for social justice, healthcare, and equal economic rights. I mean, you simply cannot build a fair society if citizens are systematically manipulated to hate each other.
So how do we fight back against this kind of digital feudalism? Well, the focus really needs to shift toward reclaiming data sovereignty and establishing something called data dignity. Essentially, this means treating human behavioral data as a collective public good, not just a free resource to be strip-mined by tech monopolies. The ultimate goal here is to create a distributed digital commons that's governed openly, where the massive rewards of technology are actually redistributed back to the public.
At the end of the day, social democracy is all about giving power back to the people through open, transparent, and fair systems. While the elite playbook desperately relies on keeping the masses totally ignorant and fearful through things like panem et circenses and ordo ab chao, democratic core values strive to create an environment where everyone can freely develop and strengthen themselves. It is a direct, fundamental clash between systemic elite control and collective human empowerment.
Which brings us to a final, really provocative thought to leave you with. Ask yourself, is your digital outrage genuinely your own? Or was it manufactured by an algorithm optimizing for a corporation's profit? Are you truly an independent thinker? Or are you just playing your assigned role in a very, very ancient game of control? Understanding this historical blueprint is step one to reclaiming your mind. Keep questioning the matrix around you, folks.